It's an incredible program win to be putting yourself behind the 8 ball a little bit like we did, and to see guys continue to fight and scratch and claw. There was no give up in that. There was no pouting. There was no chins down, heads down. That's what I'm most proud of. Obviously, we came back and made the big play at the end there that obviously stopped them to win the game. But to see how they fought and they stayed together through some adversity again, I'm proud.
What clicked all of a sudden on offense for that last drive there?
I be honest, I don't know. I mean, again, sometimes it just takes a little bit. You got to take some chances, and I think we got to be a little bit freer. We talk about it all the time about let it fly. I mean, we don't mean just sling the ball around all the time, but even like the Wilds, there are some drop balls, and sometimes, like I told you, that becomes you're holding on so tight. You care so much. We've kind of changed in some of the things and the way we ask people to care about one another, and you care so much that sometimes you're too tensed up, and the emotions can get the best of it. And I think that's what happened. And then all of a sudden, you're down, and you gotta really let it fly and see what you're made of. And all of a sudden, you see guys that are starting to make plays. They seem more relaxed. I mean, they're catching balls and turning the ball upfield when, we were having a hard time just even grasping them. And I think that's where you start to see the maturity starting to grow.
What went into your decision to go for it on 4th and 1, that first possession of the second half?
It wasn't much of a decision, to be honest with you. I'm not sure exactly what I want. I didn't really want to do that. We had a little bit of a communication thing, but that's on me. I wanted to try to draw him off sides, to be honest with you, and he snapped the ball, and again, I can't put him in that situation. I got to do a better job, especially coming out of that half. That was on me.
You got good production from your young running backs. Talk about that and whether Mike is going to be back next week.
Yeah, I would assume he would be back. I mean, he's close this week. I think that's really what got this thing rolling. Is to see, and people would say, well, I don't really remember. Was that the big run? No, I think it's the 4-yard run, the 5-yard run, the 3-yard run, the battle that you see from those guys taking man on man in the hole. You could just sense that stuff on the sidelines, and that's where the adrenaline came from, whether it was the extra 45 guys we brought or the guys that were staying on the sidelines. To see those 4-yard runs, to see that tailback grinding his legs out, I'm telling you, that went a lot further than some of the long throws.
Most rivalry games are toward the end of the season. When you have one early and you win like that, what can that do for a team?
I'll be honest with you, this is my first time in a situation like this. I've been, where my rivalry before was always at the last game of the year. So I think this is one of those ones where, regardless of rivalry or not, yes, it's a big part of it, but I think the ability to come back like this, to go through that adversity, to stay together, to have it end the way it did, being a rivalry is one thing, but that's growth of a young program and a young team that goes a long way.
What did you tell him after the game?
I just told him I was proud of him. I said, and not just because you pulled it out, not just because we picked the ball off, not just because we made the play on 4th down, but because of the way they kept their chins up, the way they battled together, the way they had faith in one another. We talked about it. We said this game was all about respect, not disrespect. Not, hey, they got us a dog, or hey, they greased up the goalpost because they were going to tear them down. I mean, just little things. That has nothing to do with it. It's about the respect we had to build for one another in that locker room. I told them I can't touch that victory bell. I said, out of respect for what you guys have done and what the people in the past have done here, I've never won that game. I didn't touch that victory bell till that game was over, because I didn't feel like it was right. And I said, but all I want to be able to do is at the end of that game be able to have the opportunity to ring that thing and have the respect of you guys and earn it, because that's what it's about.
How'd that feel?
It was great. It was great. Obviously, with all the circumstances and the way things went, made it even a bit more special. I don't want to tell you about the last time I played here. And we gave up a 70-yard touchdown bomb on the last play of the game. So that was a little ghost that haunted me right there as we scored. And there's a lot more time than the 13 seconds that I had to go through when I was here before. But, I think we're coming. We've come a long way. We still got a ways to go. But I can tell I love these guys.